Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, guys, be nice to each other. Oh, yeah. It's that Thursday feeling. My dogs are behind me getting mad at each other.
Yeah, they're fighting.
Just straight up fighting.
That's fine.
Getting mad at each other.
Just a little dog fight.
They're just little dog fights.
I'll get you on the cover of Madden.
This week's episode is, of course, sponsored by the ASPCA. Please go to your local shelter now. Adopt. Don't get
Shop.
from a breeder. Just adopt. Don't shop. Don't do that. Mike Vick, come on late lunch. Tell us how you've rehabilitated yourself.
He seems
Thank
fine
you.
now.
He seems fine now. He's like a coach now. You know, he's coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for him.
Good for him.
Good for him. Yeah, I think we've talked about this before at some point. I can't remember if it was on a podcast, but I knew that I turned the corner on Mike Vick when the worst people in sports hadn't let it go yet. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
Like the people that I think of as racists just most of the time
For
are the
sure.
ones that are still
Listen,
really mad about
is the
this.
thing he did unbelievably terrible.
unforgivable almost. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, but
But also, I mean,
he did it. He did the time.
and like,
He's
it wasn't kids. It wasn't people. He didn't kill a guy. You know? Like, listen, I love dogs. But, like, gang, come on.
well, okay. So what if he had a kid fighting ring?
Different. That's entertainment. ain't it?
Different. That's entertainment, ain't it? God, you think in a world where they kept making bum fights, we would have eventually got kid
The
fights?
kids? Yeah, absolutely.
Grim.
Absolutely.
Hey, it's VGB's. Hey, guys, please calm down. Oli, I caught him, like, I'm sorry, listener. I did catch him just straight up, like, humping her face the other day.
That's crazy.
Like, she was just kind of in bed,
Yeah.
and he was just like,
Just going. That's crazy.
and I was like,
Dogs are
dude,
so
it's like, you
weird.
can't do, they're so gross. They're so gross. They're
There was
disgusting.
my friends fostered. It was like a week long foster.
Mm-hmm.
This dog from Angel City Pits, Angel City Pit Bulls. One of those. It's called something like that, and all they do is pit bulls and pit mixes. So I've learned a lot about those dogs, which is to say they're stupid and so
Yeah.
nice.
They're so
They don't know
sweet.
shit, and they just want to hug you, and that's
They
all
just-
that's all they
they-
got.
They're just stupid baby. Yeah.
Yeah. And they got this one, and we were sitting on the couch, and the dog was like pretty sleepy, and then was like snotting everywhere because the dog had a cold,
Oh.
and then rolled over. And I was like, "What's that lump on the stomach?" So I like touched tummy, and like pretty warmer than normal dog
Oh
tummy.
no. Oh no.
And then I grab a thing that I'm like, immediately, I'm like, that's a dog. I'm like, in this dog it has to be this has to be a dog.
Oh.
And I was like, hey, did they tell you if this dog was pregnant?
Yeah.
And my friend goes, no. And I'm like,
Mazel
because
tov.
I think I don't know anything about dog,
Yeah.
but I think this dog pregnant.
Yeah.
And then they rolled the dog over to look at the dog tummy, and they were like, well, that's weird. The thing that's confusing is that there's only one. They're yelling. The girls are fighting.
Hey guys, really, cut it out. Oli, stop. Stop. Okay, sorry.
The thing that has thrown me is that there are only like 2 lumps, what I'm assuming are baby dog lumps in there, and I feel like dog have more than that, usually when they have dog.
They
More
have
than two
some.
dog come out.
Sometimes it's only two.
Sometime it only two. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the dog pregnant, but we'll never know because they
Wow.
returned the dog this week because they only
Oh,
needed to watch the dog for a
yeah,
week.
yeah.
So
Gotta be
no way to
fun to.
know.
It'd be fun to have a dog in house with like having puppies, knowing that
Mhm.
it would not necessarily be my
Be your
responsibility.
problem. But then you
Yeah,
would have to shepherd the birth of the child,
yeah, which is a lot. That is a lot. That's a lot. Shepherd
which
birth of
I
child
can't
is a lot.
possibly,
It's a
could
lot.
not possibly be involved with.
Mm-hmm.
On
Yeah,
the
that'd
list
be a
of
lot.
things that I would do, like witnessing the birth of a human child's pretty low down on there. Beautiful,
Mm.
sure. But I'm facing the person giving birth and my back is to
Is it
everybody else.
beautiful?
That's what
I've
Squarespace
seen it.
says.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
It
I don't
seems
think it's beautiful.
I
I think
don't
it's like
listen.
I
It's
like the
like it's a
concept of bringing a life into the world is
sure,
beautiful.
that's
But
beautiful, but
if
the
if you're
act,
if you're telling me that that is beautiful, then
yeah.
folks, I'm good. I'm good with whatever. Like I'm gonna exit the world. It's fine.
I feel like
But
we do they are there white people on this planet, John, who make their dogs have water births?
with like
Like
a
probably,
midwife,
right? Yeah, like probably,
probably,
right?
probably, yeah,
Isn't that nuts?
yeah. It's pretty
Imagine being
nuts.
that dog. You're like,
Yeah,
it's
it's like
time to do the worst thing I've ever done. And then they're like, get in the tub, honey.
get in the tub. You know what? Classically, a place where most dogs just love to be.
Uh-huh.
And
We're
it's
gonna
like,
fill it.
all right, Bella, time to have your water birth after you ate your vegan dinner. Um,
Imagine making your dog vegan.
yeah, I've seen that. I mean, not with
There
anyone,
should
not with
be
anyone I like, know
CPS
well.
for dogs.
Well, there kind of is.
But they don't have any rights, do they?
I mean, if there's actual abuse happening, yes, obviously,
I
but
think we need like a maybe a softer
like a second
cultural
tier,
a
yeah,
second tier of CPS where
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
the
yeah,
vibes
yeah.
are rancid
The
here.
vibes are rancid. Yeah,
And
yeah,
we got to
yeah,
get this dog out.
yeah. Mm-hmm. I agree. I
Okay.
agree.
Well, thank you for listening to the dog childbirth segment
Dog,
of the
child,
video
slash
game
child.
podcast.
Yeah, VGB's episode 56. I said that at the top, but didn't say anything else. I'm John Warren, one of your hosts. With me is my forever co-host, Nikki Grace, and you can go to
I
VGBs.com/join and join the Hive.
it's
We've been around
free.
for a year. It can be free.
Part of it's
Can
free,
be
but
paid.
we would honestly prefer if it wasn't free for you. Does that make
Yeah,
sense? Like in a
I'm never
gentle way.
listen. I'm never gonna. I'm never gonna flip the switch. I'm not gonna flip the switch. I'm not
Hmm.
going to.
You could.
But I want to, and I could. All of this stuff would
It's
just
just
be
a. What if
behind
it
a
was just a
beautiful
dollar?
paywall.
Just
What
a
if it was
dollar.
just $1? See, but I still think that's a barrier. I think people would be
It
like,
is. Yeah.
mm,
Listen, we would prefer it if it wasn't free for you. We would think
yeah,
better and more highly of you if it wasn't free for you, which isn't to say
hmm
that we think lower of the people for whom it is not free, but we do just think more of the people for whom pay.
hmm
You know? That's
it's
it.
true. That's true. I value the people who pay for this more than the people who don't. So if you're in our YouTube comments, if you're in our Discord and you don't pay, know that I think less of you than I do the.
See, no, so that's explicitly what I was saying. We didn't think.
Yeah, but I feel like we should have discussed it before, because like I don't know if I'm on the same page. Like we're on the same page about a lot of stuff. We're on the same page about
For
Monster
sure.
Hunter
Yeah.
and
Name
that's
anything
about
else.
it.
That's it.
Mario Kart. We're on the
Yeah.
same page about these things, but I think less of the people who aren't paying.
That's real.
What's your
That's real.
deal? What's your deal? What are you paying for? What are you paying for instead? New York Times. New York
Yeah, if
Times,
you have a time subscription
but
instead
not
of
us.
this, that is fucking up.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're paying even for the New York Times Games thing
hmm
instead of this,
hmm
mistake. Switch
If
that over.
you're paying for it, I'm so sorry. If you're paying for IGN Premium,
Wow. True.
I think less
Michael
of you.
Hyam.
Michael Hyam.
I love the idea that Michael Hive is paying for IGN Premium.
Yeah, I do. I do too. I do too. Also, I can't even say what I was gonna think, but you know what, Michael Heim, we do love you. We
We
love
do.
you,
I'm
and
like, do you think? Oh, well, it's gone.
mm, paying for IGN
Oh
premium.
yeah, if you're paying, don't listen. Listen. Did you know that I get Puzzmo for free
Oh,
through the
why?
library?
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
I didn't either until last week
Oh, that's
or
neat.
this week. So now I have Puzzmo
Cool.
through the library.
Puzzmo's
You
great.
probably also have Puzzmo.
I probably also have Puzzmo.
If you have the library, the better crossword's better anyway.
It's
There's no
true.
dumb shit on the crossword. You do the crossword and you're like, wow, I feel so smart. And then you don't have to know about the Bay of fucking Pigs or whatever. Who cares?
If it was in, we didn't start the fire. We don't fucking care about it. like New York Times and Billy Joel, we don't care.
Metroid, George Floyd,
Yeah,
OKC
only
and Six.
it's only the Fall Out Boy version of We Didn't Start the Fire that we care about those events.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, video games, sure. I don't know. Andrew Wilson, thanks Steven Totillo for putting together such a comprehensive piece on the compensation of one EA CEO, Andrew Wilson, who received $30.5 million in cash and stock,
What do you
ending
even
their
do?
fiscal year March 31st, 2025. That was nearly $5 million up from the year before, even though most of their games
Name
were
a game.
down during that
Hmm.
time, including FC 25 was down, as well as, of course, Dragon Age, the Veil Guard. The really crucial part of this is that not only is Andrew Wilson's pay up, but the median worker pay at EA is down. This is crazy. From 149,000 from last year to
Hmm.
117,000 this past year, which is kind of a staggering drop in terms of that. Now, Totillo points out that the way EA is calculating and displaying their median averages are a little strange, and so it's a little hard to wrap your head around it. But it is still what they were saying is their median pay is 117 down from 149, which is a pretty big drop.
Yeah, when you let those people go who make more money, then number go down.
Let those people go.
Go. No, yeah, they don't work there anymore.
Yeah,
Number go down. They also don't
number
make
go down.
video game anymore.
They don't really make video game anymore. Isn't that
So
weird? They
you can
make
get
a
a bunch
few.
of children to work for your company for 3 years before you let them all go
Hmm.
to replace them with another crop of children.
Hmm.
You only have to pay them 100 grand,
Hmm.
and then you just fire them in 3 years before they can get a promotion.
Hmm. Hmm.
Cyclical.
Seek legal.
I just
Yeah.
don't. What do you do when you make that much money every year?
Like, what do you mean? It's just like, what do you do with your life?
Yeah.
You probably invest the lion's share of it because, like, obviously, if you just put like, if you're me, you could just put 100K aside and live on it very comfortably, and
Yeah.
then the rest of it can just work for you. And so then in a year it'll be worth like 40 million or whatever instead
What
of
the
30
fuck?
million. I mean, so that's what you do, and then
Does he have
eventually
kids?
Andrew Wilson, Andrew Wilson. Now we can't. It's not Owen Wilson's brother.
He has two
Hmm.
children.
Okay.
2 kids. Yeah, 2 children. But they have to suck, right?
The kids.
They have to be terrible.
I don't know. I mean, I
John, you can call a multi-millionaire who is actively destroying the industry that you love and care about. You can call his kids shitty. It's okay. They're not gonna come get you. They're not gonna come get you. His kids have to suck.
Yes, so it's a daughter and a son.
Yes.
And they live in Atherton, which
Oh,
is
so, yes. So they
yeah,
absolutely
so they
fucking
probably
suck.
suck. Okay.
They
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely suck. Yes.
yeah.
In 2022, Wilson, along with several other Silicon Valley executives, opposed a proposal to allow more than one home on a single acre
Hmm.
in the city that he lives in.
Hmm. He opposed a proposal to allow more than one home. The summer. So this. Oh, speaking of the New York Times, this was from an article called "The Summer of NIMBY in Silicon Valley's Poshest Town."
The summer of
The summer of NIMBY.
singular.
Yes, yeah, singular. The only time it's ever happened. God.
Yeah, no, I think everyone should go read the Totillo piece because he does a fun graphic that really hits harder when you're on the telephone.
It is.
Where
It is.
he plots out on a graph Andrew's salary and then the median salary at the bottom, and you have to scroll the gap between the two,
The
and it
reason
takes forever.
the reason he does that is that when you squish it in a normal looking graph, you can barely tell the difference between the median compensation because it's basically a flat line because those
Yeah,
amounts are so far away from what Andrew Wilson's being paid. So he created this additional graphic that is like, super, super, super
yeah,
huge, which is very funny to me.
great.
Yeah, there are it's not so simple. Like CEOs like Andrew Wilson don't get paid just like 30.5 million in cash. It's usually like a combination of cash and stock and incentive based pay, like quote unquote bonuses. But they're judged, and like this is from one of the releases. They're judged by basically seven tenets, which is attracting and retaining talent, keeping the business resilient, which is so easy to interpret in a million ways.
You know,
Improvements in environmental sustainability, which is like literally just like green
what?
stuff.
What do they?
Build.
What? Sorry, what do
What are
they
they doing?
make?
I don't know.
They don't make anything.
I mean, I wouldn't say that like Madden, like no, they don't get like Madden's the greenest video game ever made. We put real grass in this one.
Now, okay, now hold on.
Now, hold
Imagine
on.
if they were like, listen, every physical copy of Madden 26, is that the
Yep.
next one? Comes with some grass.
Some of it comes to some grass.
You
You can
just
plant it.
open it and just some grass comes out.
Yeah, that's good.
That would
I like
rule.
it. That'd be pretty cool. Quote unquote building games and experiences that entertain massive online communities. Okay. Create
So the
blockbuster
mobile
interactive
stuff.
storytelling, harnessing the power of community in and around our games, and then artificial intelligence. so
Right.
so a combination of those things have gone well enough that Andrew Wilson was compensated $5 million more this fiscal year than he was last year, and once again, the median pay went down.
They could make so many video games on $35 million.
They could, they could,
They could make so many video games.
they could. They could.
That would make them more than $35 million.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Hey, speaking of like companies that totally know what they're doing, Jason Schreier reported earlier this week that major cuts are coming at Microsoft. That's across the board. A lot of salespeople will apparently be targeted by this to the tune of maybe even 2,000
Just
people
a
being
couple.
let go, which is
Just a few.
absolutely absurd. But of course, the Xbox gaming division is also going to hit some cuts. And the latest rumors, based on a couple of reports that have come out today, is that they do believe that several studios may be on the chopping block as part of the cuts that are coming as soon as next week. We really don't have a whole lot of details aside from that, but this will be what the third massive layoff that has affected Xbox games in the past like 18 months.
18 months. That sounds right.
Um, and we talked about Phil and Xbox last week and how their strategy was just kind of like so unbelievably vague and kind of insulated from any sort of criticism because then they can essentially just say anything as an Xbox and all this stuff. But it really is striking to me how Phil Spencer specifically, has gone from being someone that I think people thought of as a visionary with a really strong idea and strategy, and had big ambitions to like put Xbox on Nintendo consoles and do things
Hmm.
that were really outside the box. And now I would pretty clearly argue he's been one of the worst executives in games for the past five
For
years
sure.
because
It's
of this stuff.
it's also super strange because it's like it is so rare for people to know the president of a subdivision of one of these
Hmm.
companies. You
Yes,
know?
it is very
So
rare.
like
Yeah.
you don't know who the fuck the guy in charge of Azure is.
No,
Like you
like
don't
we
know
I have no
who
idea
in
who makes
charge.
Teams.
Yeah, like there's like
I just don't like, or
so
Microsoft
it
365. Like I just have no
yeah.
idea. Yeah.
It seems like it's two things happening. One, he doesn't. I don't really know if he's particularly good at his job, but also it does a little bit seem like okay, you had your time to go play, and now your time to go play is over,
It's over.
and
Yeah.
now you just are a business unit at
Hmm.
here at Microsoft.
Hmm.
Um, so
And I think it speaks to the strategy that we've talked about, where it's like, yeah, their next things are basically just going to be Windows machines that more incorporate some of the stuff that we would be used to with these portable PCs like Steam OS, like with the
yeah,
Steam Deck and all that stuff. Like that is, I think, the next level of Microsoft. It's not going to be. I don't know how much they're really going to rely on first party games. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if we actually see a full reversal of all their studios, just essentially saying, now we're just going to go make money with everyone. We're essentially a third party, a vendor for not only the PC market, which is us, but also PlayStation, also Nintendo. Like it could be as easy as something like that, which is what kind of Sega did when the hardware business essentially evaporated from them.
mm,
And it's not that Xbox's hardware business is dead. I just think it's going to get very closely folded into Microsoft PCs. Like I think
mhm.
that's just going to be how this goes. And I don't know what Phil Spencer's role in that is, because that feels very far away from his wheelhouse and kind of where he has historically shined. And now it feels like he's just very much a figurehead that's going, yep, yeah, okay, sure, yeah, this is the next thing we're doing. Okay, sure. And it's a very interesting reversal from a few years ago, where it felt like he, whether this is true or not, felt like he had, um, a position in games that was fairly unique. I don't
Yeah,
know.
they did the messaging around him was really good.
Hmm.
They announced um the Xbox edition of the Meta Quest 3S,
Yes.
which is the cheaper, worse version of the Meta 3
Yep.
that you can do cloud gaming on. What? Like, who's gonna buy that?
Who's gonna buy that?
It comes with an Xbox controller is basically the only difference. Like
Yeah.
it's black instead of white,
Hmm.
and it comes with an Xbox controller,
Hmm.
and this is the only difference. And 3 months of the Xbox Game Pass.
Game Pass.
Awesome.
Great.
That'll,
Super.
that'll, that'll you'll sell a bunch of those, I'm sure.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's odd. They're just turning into a company that, a subdivision that I think has less and less of an identity, and we will see as early as next week how bad these layoffs are and how decimated these teams get. I'm super worried for teams like Arcane. I'm super worried for teams like uh, uh,
Is it
Obsidian.
is it 2,000 people across Microsoft or 2,000 people
It's
in the
2000.
Xbox
No, it's
umbrella?
2,000 people across Microsoft is what
Oh,
I've
okay.
read. And so a lot of it is in the sales division. I've read, and then, but they are worried that there are several studios that might be up for either disintegration or just huge layoffs that would affect,
Yeah.
their ability to make stuff going forward. So we just don't know what those are, or what they're, what's going to be affected by that. And it sucks. It absolutely sucks. But yeah, it's been reported thousands of jobs. We've heard everything between 1,000 to 2,000. It might be more, but apparently largely in sales. So oof. Speaking of Windows 11 machines, Ars Technica reported on a Lenovo Legion Go S test between SteamOS and Windows 11 that showed pretty clearly that most of the benchmarking is better for SteamOS because games just run faster on
Well,
that system, which
listen,
is very fascinating.
it's Microsoft. They don't have any money,
They don't have any money,
and they don't. It's not. They've never kind of. Hold on. Let me just type in. Just gonna really
what do they,
quickly type
what do they
in
do?
Windows 8 on ARM and see if anything comes up. Let me see. Okay, so it says here it's called Windows RT. It says Windows RT is an operating system developed by Microsoft and released alongside Windows 8 on October 26, 2000. And it says, let me zoom in. Right here it says 2012, John. And then it says, let me scroll. It says they turned it off 4 years later. And then let me just go really quickly and see what is the processor inside of the Lenovo. What did you say?
It's the Legion Go S that is the
Legion
Steam OS
Go
powered,
S.
but they also have a Windows powered counterpart.
Okay, so that says, let's see, that says it's an AMD Ryzen Z2. Okay, hold on, let's see. AMD Ryzen Z2 architecture. Let me just see what that says. So, okay, let me scroll really fast. Let's see, it says it's ARM, John. Or x86. I guess it comes in different flavors.
Okay. Well,
Okay. Well, good for them. Don't buy.
yeah, good.
Fucking buy a Steam. Go buy a Steam Deck. Who cares?
Go buy a Steam Deck. Don't go buy a Steam Deck. I'm not saying you should run out and buy a Steam OS powered Lenovo. Like, I don't know if that makes a lot of sense. I think it makes a little bit more sense to go buy a Steam Deck because you can hook that up to a monitor pretty easily. In fact, Jeff Gersman this week has talked about that a bit on, I believe, his show, but also online, and how he does his setup with that. I've done some of that too. I think it works pretty well with a Bluetooth controller hooked up to it. It's pretty easy. So that's what I would suggest more than getting one of these Lenovo's. But you know what? I don't know. Whatever. It's your money. I can't do anything.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
Do whatever the fuck you want. But yeah, that report is over on Ars Technica. Kyle Orland, friend of the show, posted this yesterday on June 25th. So yeah, go check that out.
I mostly am just the only reason I walked us down that really long path where the conclusion was I was wrong, but it was funny.
It was funny. No, I appreciate it.
Can't win them all. It's only because it's like they so frequently, they being Microsoft, have so frequently been like actually correct.
Sure.
And then they go,
what if we
nah, we can't do it. If they had 14 years of development on ARM, right? Then we would be having a completely different conversation about what these handheld devices looked like. Right? But instead, they are getting beat by Linux.
They're being but the penguin is
the fucking you're losing to the penguin.
Loses to the penguin, and it's
Sad.
not even the fucking Tencent penguin. It's like the other one.
It's the other one that no one. Linus's penguin. Is that him?
Linus Tech Tips penguin.
I haven't had that man come across my computer in a long time, but YouTube is like, remember him? But it wasn't one of his videos. I guess he opened a badminton center
Ooh, okay.
in British Columbia where he lives because he likes
Okay.
badminton. So he
Okay.
opened up a badminton center, and this video was from a badminton influencer, not a job. And they were like, "Wow, the floors in here are great." And I was like, this is nothing.
Goofy. Yeah.
Goofy,
Hmm.
but good for them though.
Goofy. Good
So
for
if we
them.
go up to British Columbia, if we go up to Surrey, BC, we can hit up a state of the art. What does that
Linus's
mean? Fucking state of the art badminton center? What the fuck are you talking about?
fucking Robin Hood cartoon ass sport. Stupid. Dumb. Dumb. Way to go, Linus. Lionel Tech Tip.
Lionel technical
Lionel
tippos.
Lionel's technical typos. Um, hey, remember how we were talking about really recently how it's actually kind of cool if you go on Mario Kart and you're able to do a few races in a row that actually just do the
The
courses
laps.
instead of the transition because
Yeah.
they have this whole mode which is knockout mode which does those transitions which feels really like good and fluid and it makes sense but when you're doing Grand Prix you kind of just want to run the courses themselves because they're designed to
Yeah.
be these courses that kind of
Hmm.
loop which is really interesting and there was a workaround to do
Yeah.
this online that people were taking advantage of. And now Nintendo has patched that out. So, on
Good.
one hand, I want to say really funny, unbelievably
Deeply funny.
funny
Really
for
funny.
Nintendo to just be like, "Yeah, okay, y'all are trying to like have your own fun, make your own fun.
No.
I don't think
No.
so. You're doing this our way. In one sense, I deeply respect it,
Really
and
funny. Yeah.
I need you to know that I do respect the developer vision, and if that's what they want, I understand it, and I'm like, okay, but it's not actually that often that I think they're just dead wrong about it.
Yeah.
And it's like they're dead wrong. They're dead wrong about this. They made a choice that doesn't really make sense.
Yes.
And
And
it's frustrating.
instead of like being in a position to be like, well, they figured out how to fix it, so if we do nothing, it's okay.
It's okay.
They
They
said,
go,
what if we pointed the gun at ourselves?
what if we force the issue? What if we
The
like
gun
just made
right
it
now, the gun is locked in a safe.
they don't even know it's there, so it can't be Chekhov's gun. What if we pull it out of the safe and put it on the table? Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. And it's just like
Yeah, just a
I just think they're dead wrong. It's one of those kind of rare instances of Nintendo making a design choice that I think is just like it's the wrong choice. Like they just it's that's the wrong choice. They did something that is
in it.
confusing and bad.
And also, it just doesn't feel good. It is.
No.
I think the thing that I'm thinking about Mario. I've played a lot more of it,
I
especially
played
over the
more of it
course of
this
the
past
last
week. Yeah.
week. But like, there are so many confounding decisions in that game.
There are a lot of them.
If you
Yeah.
watch, the Donkey put out a video of him just showing off the fact that it's like
Tricks.
there's just a 3D
There's like
platformer
tech.
in there,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
and like that fun for sure. There's nothing to do when you do the 3D platforming. So it's like, yes, is it unbelievably sick that you can trick off of a wall, then trick off of a lamppost, and then jump on top of a Yoshi, and then wall ride into a grind, and that like all of that stuff is great. When you can't do that fun stuff with other people, because that's
Right.
not how the open world works. The open world is not, when you're online, the open world is not conducive to that. They're like, please get out of here, go do a race.
Go do race. Yeah.
And then when you are in the races, most people are never going to wall ride ever. They're going to get on the wall and go, what? And then by the time they've had that realization, they will be back on the ground and they'll move on with their life.
Yeah.
So I guess then what they are saying is that for people who are very good at this video game, there is a competent 3D platformer. And then there's nothing to do
Nothing to do with
that.
Yeah.
It's just like we lucked into this system of mechanics that, yes, when strung together, you are doing platforming. And then you get to the top of a building and then that's it.
That's it. You made it to the top of the building.
And not even in a way where in Super Mario Odyssey, when you get to the top of a building that you feel like you're not supposed to get up to, there's like coins and stuff up there,
They're
and you're like,
coins.
oh great, like, and like that's the
It's a
acknowledgement,
wink.
right?
There's a little
Yes.
wink, and they go, "Hey, you got up here. Here's 50 coins.
Yeah,
Good
here's
job."
50 coins. And like that also happens here, I guess, but it's again
It feels
to
weirder.
to what end?
To what end?
I'm
Yeah,
playing Mario Kart, not
right.
a Super Mario game.
And there are later moons in Odyssey that are essentially, once you basically beat the game and you go to the post game stuff, there are some moons that essentially require you to be that good
Yes.
at that platforming. So like it is training you in this way to be like, okay, if you're basically a any percent player and you're getting through
Hmm.
this, none of this is important to you. But if you're a sicko, we will reward you in a little bit now, but also later on when there are some moons that like you
Yeah.
got to do this crazy shit. And in Mario Kart World, there's just really none of that. It's just kind
Yeah,
of
there is, it's not even carrot and stick. It's just like,
no,
did you know that there is grocery store? It's like, yeah,
no.
dog.
It is kind of stunning to me, and I think the feeling. I think what they, I guess, I can kind of get into their shoes maybe and think, okay, your instinct when you're in these carts, is to always be moving. So there really isn't like a whole lot of time to stop and just look around and check waypoints. They just don't want you to do that.
Hmm.
And so it's not like Odyssey or Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom where you can kind of like sit in a moment and look at your environment around you and go, "Oh, that's something fun I can do." And I bet there's a reward at the end of it. It
Yes.
might be intrinsic, but for the most part, it's probably something a little
Yeah.
more extrinsic it's guided, and if there was
Hmm.
something guided and all it was a beautiful vista, I would be okay with that. But
Yeah, the
there's really
little,
nothing like that. The open world stuff is pretty weak in terms
yeah,
of
the P
that kind
block
of thing.
missions are like, there are all some variation on drive point A to point B, but there's
Yep,
stuff in your way.
stuff in the way.
Get Go from point A to point B, but you have to collect blue coins. Go from point A to point B, and there's nothing in your way.
There's
You're just
nothing.
going from point A to point B, or you do an a timed, unplaced race around what
Yes.
they call a tribute
Yes.
to an older course.
Older course, yeah, which is crazy because again, they will populate the little area with other racers, but
Yeah.
crucially, you are not competing against them. You were just going around
No,
the
you're
laps.
just trying to do the laps and get to the next circle before the
Hmm.
time runs out.
Hmm.
And if only there were any open world racing games before this one. And like, the last thing I guess I'll say is that, and I think this is like the nugget that I've really been trying to crack. When Nintendo makes an open world, they want you to do the thing that you said, John, which is stop and look at it.
Yes.
When you make an open world racing game, you are not supposed to stop and look at it
Hmm.
because you're going
You're going.
fast.
Hmm.
You're going from point A to point B, and it has to blend together into something beautiful.
Hmm.
And then when you do stop completely, then it has to be interesting.
Hmm.
When you stop completely in this game, all of it falls away, and you're like, okay, there are 4 different vehicle types. They're all
Hmm.
driven by the same Shy Guy or Koopa. There are 2 kinds of guy that walk around. It's a different color Yoshi or a different
Hmm.
color Shy Guy.
Yep.
All of the buildings look the exact same.
Yeah.
Like when you're in particularly dense areas, and then you then drive to the courses themselves, and the courses are beautiful.
Hmm.
And you're like, but why wouldn't I just be racing?
Why wouldn't I just be doing the
Why wouldn't I just
courses?
be on the courses instead
Yeah.
of
Yeah. Yeah.
driving from point A to point B? So then when they made the decision to be like, actually go fuck yourself, we know you want to play online where you just do the courses and not
Yeah.
drive between them in the explicitly boring part.
Hmm. They could. They
It
could
feels
have.
like a misunderstanding of the game that you made.
They could have made something so interesting out of, because if you haven't played it, the open world is essentially it feels insane to say this. It's essentially not a clear menu option. It is basically
No, they don't want you to do it.
leaving the menu and a certain button combination gets you to the open world, but that's it. You don't select something that says I just want to roam around. You're basically like
Yeah,
leaving
you
the
just
main
hit
menu.
plus,
Hmm.
and
And
it's in small text on the bottom right
it's
of
on the
the
bottom
screen.
right. And it's like they don't want you to do it. And there is a version of this game, and again, it's funny how we've talked about for the past few weeks, like Nintendo has games that they finish and they keep on the shelf. Like it's very clear that that is
Hmm.
true. But increasingly with Mario Kart World, I do believe that is true, but I do also now believe that at some point this was a different game with a more robust kind of like career mode that you could
Yes,
have in the open world that they have just
stripped
stripped
out.
out. Like,
Yeah, or
and
a
it would have been interesting to like, okay, like yes, there are missions like Forza, like Burnout Paradise, which is a like Burnout Paradise again. There's discourse on this game actually today, which is very funny. I don't think Burnout Paradise is better than Burnout Takedown, which is that is essentially the exact same conversation we're having of Burnout
mhm.
Takedown, one of the most incredible focused racing arcade experiences I've ever played. Burnout Paradise, we're going to strip out actually a lot of the stuff that made that special and make it open world. And a lot of people have fondness for Burnout Paradise, but I actually am one of the people that thought too much of that stuff was stripped out, and I want the old stuff back. And I think Takedown is better. I would say that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Mario Kart World are in the same conversation of boy, what if they had just really doubled down? Like, because the courses in this are big and they're beautiful and they're really, really fun.
There are things, again, like the rainbow road sequence in this game is
Really
an
good.
all-time
It's
like
awesome.
straight up it is an
Yep.
all-time Nintendo sequence. From the visuals to the music to the way that it is
It's awesome.
scripted,
Yep.
it is beautiful. It is
Yep.
incredible. There are drifts that you do in certain the DK spaceport level is
Awesome.
crazy. The last
Hmm.
segment of that track is a straightaway, but you are just playing Donkey Kong.
Hmm.
You're from the perspective of Mario, you're going up the fucking girders, you're just doing Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
There are drifts on the like the on fucking Whistle Stop Summit
Hmm.
that like carve you so nice when you
Hmm.
hit that like when you hit the drift just right, like it feels really good.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, we gotta put an open, it just doesn't, it feels not done. And I think
It
it
doesn't.
doesn't
Yeah.
feel done. And
Yeah.
I am so cynical now with Nintendo specifically in a way that I was not cynical before.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I have no doubt in my mind that if not next year, then the year after, there will be in the expansion pass the rest of this video game
Yeah. Hmm.
where they're like, wow, there's stuff on the map now, and there's a little extra
Uh-huh.
island.
Yep.
And like that, again, what were you doing this
Hmm.
whole time?
Yeah. Yeah. For a game that feels like they gave up on it months ago, it feels unfinished,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like I understand how it would look if they had done this right at the start, but it would have been nice if they had said like, "Hey, by the way, we've got all this post-launch support planned for this game."
Yeah, a
So,
roadmap
because
of some kind.
then what it would do is that like, yes, it would signal that this game is not totally done, and that is a little bit frustrating, especially at the price point it's at.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get that, but also it would take the edge off a little bit of the conversation because it's like, okay, they know this game is not completely done, and because this is not completely done, that's a pretty robust package for a game
Yeah.
that's not done.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And I
like,
think the
that
other
still
thing
sucks
that's,
in a lot of
it
ways. But yeah,
sucks. The other thing that makes me go like, and I think it is so hard and basically impossible actually to try to like figure out what this company, like the way that this video game developer thinks, because they
yeah,
don't think like normal people do, right? Like that,
no,
and that's what makes the stuff they make so interesting.
yep,
Most of the time is because usually when people are going to move right, they go left, and
hmm,
sometimes left is really cool. But like I know this, I'm like really on this this idea now, John, that the game's not done and that there
Mm-hmm.
was something else, because the idea that the only way that you unlock NPC characters is by being in the first third of the race and then someone behind you or you
It's
have to use Kamek,
Kamek.
which is you cannot proc yourself, it's just
No.
random,
Mm-hmm.
is the most, well,
It's
fuck,
really
gang, if you're not going to unlock these characters through action, through explicit gameplay, how are we going to dole these out?
yeah.
And someone was like, well, we could just make it completely random.
Mm-hmm.
And they said,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. I don't
No, it
know.
doesn't feel. It doesn't feel good.
I say all of this, and I am finding myself playing like 20 to 30 minutes of it at least,
It's
like
fun.
three or four
We
times a week. We played it earlier
we
this
played with
week
a
for a little
group.
bit.
We
Yeah.
played with a group earlier this week, and that was the first time that I had done that. And it, did I say that, maybe I wanted to end my life and someone else's life while I was playing it? Like, maybe I did. Maybe I did say that. Maybe I did get really turned about it in that way that Mario Kart can make me turn. But I did enjoy myself. Like, and that
Yeah.
was fun to play with friends. But like, the part that's fun to play with friends is the racing.
Yes.
The rest of it is just too hard to wrangle
Yeah.
to make it fun.
And it's also a bad sign to me that like there is stuff in the open world that I am intentionally like, the game will be here forever, I guess. So if I
Yeah.
ever do decide to come back, I'm not like, oh, I gotta, if I fail a challenge in this game, this is basically what I mean. If I fail a P switch challenge, I'm not retrying. Who gives a shit? It'll still be
100%.
there.
I'm with you
If
so
I want,
hard.
if
I
I'm,
like careened off the edge doing a P switch thing, and I was like, I'm never gonna do that again. Bye.
yeah,
Like,
bye.
it's like
See you
like
later.
no, we'll put you back up there if you want to try it. I'm
Nah,
good.
it's okay.
I'm good. Don't worry
so
about it.
good.
I'm all right.
Catch me in literally 2027.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll get high and come back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't need to do it right
100%
now.
same. Mm-hmm.
Which I don't think is a very good
No,
sign
it's
that
not a
your
good
video
sign.
game's very good.
No.
So,
No. And I mean, it's also kind of crazy that in the open world there aren't like if you play Super Mario 3D World, there are those moments where you're playing a multiplayer level and it's like, oh, this switch here requires 3 people to step on it.
yes,
And I'm surprised that there aren't just some of those quests or
multiplayer challenges.
multiplayer
Yeah,
challenges where it's like, yeah, you're gonna go. It's like, and it's just like they don't want you to. They don't want you to go
which
around.
Burnout Paradise had.
That
Like,
yeah, that
and
had.
I think that is maybe actually the most infuriating thing, is that it really does not feel like, and I know this isn't true. Like, I need to be so clear. I understand how people make video games. You play other video games on your way there. But it actually does not feel like they played another one of these before they went and made one.
Yeah,
In a way that
they
is
read
like,
they read about
they
them, but
read
they're like,
about
we
them
don't
but
need
did
to
not
know.
play them.
We don't need
Which
to know.
is
It's
like,
fine.
is a missed opportunity,
Yeah, for sure.
because this genre is a genre that I love. Like, I love the idea of an open world racing game. It is something that like video
It's
games are
delicious.
so uniquely suited to do.
Mm-hmm.
And be the idea of introducing an audience that will eat whatever slop you put in front of them to a good one of them is so enticing. To
Yes.
have like seen that opportunity and gone, I don't know, when would Burnout Paradise come out? 2007, 2008, 2000, no, I think 2006 is when that video game came out, and say, oh,
Yeah.
there's nothing in there for us.
Yep.
What are you
Sorry.
talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Gah.
Yeah. I mean, they've had a lot of really good games to look at and riff on. I mean, maybe they feel like they're not. It's like, hey, listen, we're the ones that get riffed on. We did Breath of the Wild, and now every game has fucking climbing in it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I can see how they would feel that way. But guess what? Like, y'all are making this thing that has established genre footprints that really work. And if you had
Yeah.
Nintendo-fied a lot of them, that would have been really special. Instead, it's just
Yeah, they
you
made
know.
something that is new for them, but not new to anybody else, which is usually the opposite of how it goes.
Right.
Or if they
But
make
again,
something new, it is new for every. You know what I mean?
but then again, there is a non-significant amount of that player base that probably didn't play Burnout Paradise, didn't play Forza Horizon.
Sure,
So
but
they're
then why
like,
are
"Oh,
you put?
cool.
But then why are you putting in
I know.
all this horseshit
I know.
tech? Right?
I don't know.
Like yes, completely, and I understand, but then also like
Yeah.
if you are simultaneous it just feels poorly directed. If you are
Mhm.
simultaneously saying we want you to play this video game so much
Mhm.
that you are hop skipping and jumping across the map in ways that you
Mhm.
did not think possible,
Mhm.
why are you rewarding those people with that who have that dedication by saying actually you do have to play the part of the game that you don't like?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Mhm.
I don't know, gang.
Mhm. Goofy.
Ill advised. Anyway,
Ill
Donkey Kong
advised.
Bonanza comes out in 3 weeks.
Oh, I'm excited about that. I am excited about that. Thanks, Nintendo. Num, 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 num. Another game that has come out in recent, about 10 days ago, is called Peak. It is made by Agro Crab and Landfall. Landfall, of course, has made um, Content Warning, Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, Cluster Truck, all of that stuff. And of course, Agro Crab made the pretty good Another Crab's Treasure. And
And
that
Going
outs
Under, which I like a lot.
Going Under also good. However, Peak has sold 2 million copies in the
I'm
first
so
10
amped.
days of release.
This
And
is this is
I have
huge.
played the offline version of this game. We have
Yeah,
not played it together yet, but I have played offline. And boy, great idea.
they went
Great
off.
idea, great
So
execution.
it's so delightful to me. I'm sure that after Content Warning Landfall was like, we can never, we fucked up so bad.
Mm,
We let this game
yeah,
out for free.
yeah, yeah,
The fuck? What were we
yeah.
thinking? So
Hmm.
they said, well, what if it's $5?
What?
Great job.
Yeah, great
You
job.
did
Really good
good
job.
job.
Really good
Some money
job.
is better than no money.
Some money better than no money because now you've made because Content Warning, like, it had like 2 million players after like a couple months or something. Like it was
Yeah.
like I remember it being pretty like fast, but I like this game has completely taken over my TikTok algorithm. Like in
Hmm.
a day after release, it is one of the funniest games. Obviously, proximity chat, one of those things that is like not kind of old news at this point, but again, games that effectively use it are so fucking
Yeah.
funny. Just the clips of this
And
game are so funny.
it was a game jam game, like
Yep.
something that, and so the thing that is honestly the thing that I have the most questions about, and maybe there already is an interview and I just haven't seen it. So if this interview exists, please hit me up in the Discord or on Blue Sky. But like, I can't imagine, and it feels like akin to what I'm sure having like a super like a one hit wonder situation is,
Right.
where it's like you've been putting in the work and have such an incredible body of work that is tight and considered, and you have gone through every single bit of the process to
Yep.
make it exactly the thing that you are wanting, and then 1 month you say we're gonna sit down and just fuck around for a month, and
Mm-hmm.
it is the most
It's the
successful thing you've
thing
ever
that you've
done.
ever done.
I
Yeah.
cannot imagine what that feels like. Because I'm sure it is both simultaneously like unbelievably exciting, like holy
Mm-hmm.
shit, we have made something with deep resonance, and also I did not work very hard on it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I'm like super curious to know, if only I worked at a video game website where I could ask someone those questions.
Aggro Crab did post on their official Twitter account. Why did the stupid jam game sell more copies than Another Crab's Treasure? I'm gonna crash out.
Yeah. Yeah,
So there
I
you go.
fucking bet.
Yeah,
Like
like I
I
bet.
can't
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah. But it's like
Um
I think while that obviously is like I cannot imagine a better problem to have.
no, good problem to have.
Is just
Oh no,
we
2 million people
we
bought my
fucked
video
around
game.
and we made the most successful thing we've ever made. Um, and it's just really funny. It's joyful. It's just one of those games where you can't play with randos. You do have to go match up with people in Steam, which I think is pretty smart. It's a lot of fun. So we definitely want to play some of that this weekend maybe. But the offline mode that I've played and just fucked around with a bit, I was already having a really good time.
Yeah.
So it's good. Congrats to them. It's amazing.
Congrats.
Have you been playing anything else, Nikki?
Mario Kart. I'm on chapter 4 of Deltarune now. As
Okay.
per the terms of the agreement, I won't talk about
You
it.
won't talk about it?
Um,
Sure.
I don't think so. I was going through my telephone because I
Mm-hmm.
broke my phone screen, so I got another telephone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also when I dropped the phone, the camera broke also, so it just was like I couldn't just like take it to a man to get the new screen. I
Yeah.
just had to
Mm-hmm.
get another fucking
Step
phone.
new phone. Mm-hmm.
But then I did start to look at like Apple will rent you the equipment to replace the stuff. So you pay that rent. You pay them $49, and then they'll ship you like four enormous cases. Like I watched a YouTube video of it, like four enormous cases with the same shit that they use if you take your phone to the Apple store to take the screen off and put the screen back on. But they'll let you do it for the privilege of paying them $49,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Sure.
you have to. They put a hold on your account for however much the equipment is worth, and if you can believe it, John, Apple Computer does not tell you how much that hold would be. Anyway, all of this is to say, I was looking at applications on my phone to try to figure out which ones I needed and which ones I did not need. And I had a bunch of games on my phone that I would never play, but the only two that survived the culling are Pokemon TCG Pocket and
Mm-hmm.
Puzzmo.
Mm-hmm.
But then this is not a game. But then I learned about this app called exclamation point camera, and it's a camera app by a team called Not Boring, and they have a weather app and a calendar app and a calculator app. It's like their idea is they want you to replace
Mm-hmm.
your
Yeah. Yeah.
default
Yep.
suite with their things. And I mean, I guess if you're listening to the podcast and you have an iPhone, just type exclamation point camera in and then look at the screenshots. If you are on the video version, I am now going to show you what it looks like. But this is like what the camera app looks like. It's goofy as hell. So it's like
It looks
it's
like a
Fisher.
Fisher
Yes, it is
Price
the most Fisher
toy
Price
camera.
coded thing. So
Oh my
the
god.
leftmost knob lets you change the LUT, which is basically like what the way that the camera interacts with the light. There is a big switch over here in the top right for flash. There's another knob up here, which is like your exposure comp. I keep turning the phone around to look
Around.
at
Mm-hmm.
it myself, but there's an
Yep.
exposure compensation thing over here. The shutter button is big and cute. That you can change which lens you're using on the camera, and that's fun. And it shoots the pictures in RAW, which is nice. Because I hate the way that that Apple does the processing on this are on the iPhone, and that's why the pictures look so bad. But then, John, I was like, okay, well, I've had a nice time fucking around in
Uh
your
huh.
application, Not
Uh huh.
Boring Company. What if
Mm-hmm.
can I please perhaps give you some dollars to have the
Yeah.
app,
A little walking around
John
money.
Warren?
Uh huh.
If you had to guess, how
Oh.
much money the subscription, which is the premium version of Weather Habits, which is it's just a reminder app.
Uh huh.
Habits, camera, timer, calculator, and vibes. Vibes seems to be like I'm almost definitely sure it's an AI music
Mm-hmm.
generation app,
Sure.
which is
Bummer.
like what a lot of companies are
Yeah. Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
this
They are.
there's a rising in computer generated ambient music, which is a
Mm-hmm.
fucking bummer as a person who likes ambient music a
Mm-hmm.
lot,
Yeah.
because now I'm on Apple Music and YouTube, and I'm listening to something and
You're not sure.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure if a person made this, and most of the
Yep.
time if I'm asking that question, the answer is no, a
Mm-hmm.
person has not made it.
Yep.
1 year of those apps. How much? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All together.
6. Yes.
99.99.
It's $50 a year. If
That's
you
still
just
that's still crazy. That's still pretty crazy.
Or $8 a month.
Okay.
If you want to use if you just want to buy the camera app, John Warren, how much does it cost?
That's $20.
$59.99.
Okay. All right.
$59.99.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
If you want to do it just for a year, it's $15.
Jesus Christ.
We have lost the fucking plot.
Yeah, we've lost the plot.
I understand it's a good-looking camera app. Thank you. Good job. I am not paying you. I go to Goodwill and buy a Digicam amounts of money for an application on my phone. Anyway, I'm getting off of my soapbox. Fucking stupid. I was pissed off.
Yeah, I'm looking at the weather app now. I mean, it is nice, but boy,
It's
yeah,
nice,
like,
but it's not like you're not going to pay $60
no.
for a weather app when your phone comes with one. But then the conversation in the space is nobody's spending money on apps. Yeah, dog. I've figured out why. You either have to pay for a subscription that you will forget about, which feels predatory, or I give you 60 American dollars for your app. No.
No.
Like I literally already have a camera. It's so silly. That app is for people who own cameras and are mad at the fact that their phone camera sucks so bad. And then the idea that they would be like, well, the person it's crazy. The thing I'm about to say, I understand is crazy. The person who spent $1,500 on a real camera is also not the person to spend $60 on an app. There's two different people.
Yep. Yeah.
I
No,
don't
that's
understand
true.
I don't get how you price
No,
your
I
things
agree.
so wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, because that weather app is actually, like, the weather app is gorgeous. It's really interesting looking.
Delightful.
But it's like, hey, you want to give us $14 a month? I'm like, no.
No. For
No.
the weather?
For the weather?
No. Because eventually I know the weather app is a tough one. I used Carrot for a while. Do you know about Carrot?
Yeah.
Carrot's the one, if you listen or if you don't know, Carrot is another, like, what if the weather app was good? And I need to be so clear. The weather app used to be bad, but when Apple bought Dark Sky, the weather app is just good now.
It's fine.
Like you used to be buying access when you were using a different weather app than the normal weather app. You were buying access to a different data set because the data set that Apple was using was the Weather Channel, and it was fucking terrible. Like, it just wasn't good. There was this other website called darksky.io, which was incredible. Like, fucking incredible. The first time I downloaded that app, I was living in New York at the time, and I downloaded the app, and then they were like, it's going to rain in 8 minutes.
Yep.
And then I looked at the clock, and then 8 minutes later, it fucking rained. I was like, oh, holy
What
shit.
the
like,
fuck?
we have,
That's super
this
accurate.
is what the computer is for, right? Like, if nothing else, the computer is for this. Apple just bought them, so the weather app is good now. So the data in there is good. But at a certain point, I don't open the weather app. I'm just waiting for the notification that's going to say it's going to rain in like 10 minutes. Or I'm looking at the widget I have on my home screen, what tells me what the temperature is.
Yeah.
So the idea of spending 60 American dollars.
It's a lot.
On, like, we've strayed so far.
We have.
From Steve Jobs's
Light.
pancreatic light.
The light shining from Steve's pancreas. No. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I'm going to look at the other apps.
Anything?
If you want to find them online, those apps, you need to search for Not Boring, because the exclamation
Not
point
Boring
does
is
not
the name of
get
the
you there.
company. Yeah.
Yeah. Have I been playing anything? I mean, I still am playing Cyberpunk. I did most of the Evelyn Parker missions, which are tough.
Who?
So Evelyn Parker is the lady that helps you fix that really early mission with Dexter Deshawn, and she, like, is the one that's sleeping with.
Does that end
Yorinobu.
well? Here's the thing: most of the
And
quests,
seriously, a lot of like here's the thing I'll say about Cyberpunk that is I think both a good thing and a bad thing is that it's going to take you on a journey and you're going to really care about some characters and sometimes that shit doesn't end well.
yeah,
And that do be how life is sometimes. And
yeah,
that's sad. It's kind of relentless in this game. There's a lot of that going on. And so it's like it's hard. I will say that the Evelyn Parker stuff I not done before and that is and spoilers and also just kind of like content warning like that's a thing that takes you
oh
down a path of
yeah,
like all right like sex workers in this world basically have this thing that essentially like it tunes directly into the fetishes and tendencies of their clients and so they kind of like zap in and out of these perfectly tuned personas for their clients and then they basically don't remember anything that happened
yeah,
but it creates like unbelievably dangerous situations for them within this world and you're basically on a mission to rescue one of them from a string of essentially pimps that are basically just like in ownership of this person. And
hmm
it is a well written but harrowing fucking
yeah.
thing. It is harrowing. And so I did most of those quests and like I'm kind of near the end of it and I know it's not going to end well and like um
Yeah,
I
I
am
just remembered by reading, and
and
yeah,
it's
it's a
tough. Like
tough one.
it's tough
Yeah,
because the thing that that game does pretty well is it introduces you to characters and you go, all right, like you're really one dimensional or whatever. And then, like, over time, you're like, oh, they're not so one dimensional, which is, kind of how life works in a lot of ways of like
hmm
people come in and out of your life and you don't know them that well and you don't necessarily have this immediate incredible first impression of something, but you do kind of, there is a sense, even though I think the writing of this game is pretty uneven, there is a real fluidity with like how you get to know the characters in these games and like there is this kind of organic way to navigate your relationships that build and this relationship with Evelyn Parker who kind of a classic trope of like woman in trouble in like a noir movie
yeah.
um that is enticing to me because I like old noir movies, but then it goes in this other direction that is just like a lot more harrowing than I think I expected it to be, and so it's tough. I still think that game is, it's actually pretty good. It's unbelievably fundamentally better than it was when we first played it. It is better. I know that some of the writing and stuff is still a little bit uneven, but I do think that game is pretty good.
Listen,
Um,
another 2 weeks, and you might get me.
I
You
know,
might
I
get
know,
me.
I
I
might.
did immediately though think about the mission where that guy gets cruised, and they're like, "You want to watch him get cruised?"
Right.
So
Yeah. It's a tough game. It's tough. There's stuff in it that like it goes so edge lordy that is, almost cartoonish but also tough.
yeah,
Tough to like deal with. Um I think
the one thing I will say about that game, from again, it's been 30 years I think since I played it.
30 years. Yeah.
Um, the one thing that was honestly the most frustrating is because I did almost all of the stuff there was to do, and I really blocked it out because I didn't think much of it was very good. But I think because there was so much of the stuff in that game that I identified as feeling not very good, I
Hmm.
did push out some of the stuff that perhaps was.
Hmm.
Um, but I really did feel like they made you spend a lot of time with people who were irredeemable.
Mm.
And also I don't think that the character of V is particularly interesting.
Interesting? No. Mm-mm.
And I don't
No.
actually think Johnny Silverhand is particularly interesting either. So
No.
like
No.
the main guys that you have to interact with in the video game,
Are not
through
that great.
which, right, like through which the story is told, really like deeply turned me off.
Yeah,
So
and it's interesting because they do kind of wear that on its sleeve. They like in the
yeah,
opening like montage of the game. There's like a voiceover that's basically like, "Yep, like Night City, full of pieces of shit, and like they're just everywhere, and they're the ones
yeah,
that get ahead." And it's like, I think in your heart, maybe you're like, yeah, but that's not going to be me. And it's like, no, it's like, it's you.
No,
It's
yeah,
everyone.
yeah, it's you. Yeah,
And like, like the only guy that seemed redeemable to any extent, spoilers, like dies in the first like 5 hours of the
yeah,
game. So, it's one of
yeah.
those things where, yeah, I don't particularly feel close to V. Part of that is, and I'm sorry, but like probably both
Terrible,
male and female
terrible,
versions of it
horrible,
are
real bad,
one of the worst voice acting performances
real
I think
bad.
I've ever heard. Just super super bad. Keanu Reeves, bless his heart,
Mails it in,
collected a
phones it in.
fucking
Yeah,
paycheck on this thing. Good for him for showing up and doing the whole like, oh, I love you, like whatever. Um, that's great, good for him, but like phones that the fuck in. There is a lot of stuff that is goofy about this game that will continue to be goofy until the sun burns out because they're not going to basically re-record the lines.
yeah. No, they're
If they went
done.
in, if they went in and
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 Desi'd
killed
it.
and killed V like they did fucking Peter
Yeah,
Dinklage's Ghost in Destiny, and like redid it with Ben Starr or whatever, okay,
yeah.
like then I would be interested in that. But yeah, the performances are not very good. So it's there's rough edges to this game, but I am enjoying it. So and besides that, like peak, I played Street Fighter 6 on Switch 2, which runs pretty well. Even wirelessly online, I played a few matches that ran really well. I got some of those season 2 characters like Elena and Terry Bogard and Mai, and that game is still really a lot of fun. So if you, for some reason, have not played Street Fighter 6 and you have a Switch 2, that is like a pretty good way to do it. Doesn't
Can
run as well, doesn't run as smoothly as PS5 or
mhm.
PC, but it is still really impressive that they got that on Switch 2.
You seen the some of the more of the cast for this flick come out
What
for
flick?
Street Fighter, the movie?
Oh,
Did you see
yeah,
it?
I
You saw
did,
all
but
of
let's
it?
talk about it. I haven't seen
Okay.
all of it, I don't think.
Okay. Well, 50 Cent is
Balrog, I saw that.
Balrog from Street Fighter. Jason Momoa is Blanca from Street
I
Fighter.
saw that. I don't understand that one, but okay.
Noah Centineo from to all the boys, the Netflix
Oh,
movie.
that's what. Okay.
He's Ken.
Ken.
Orville
Okay.
Peck, the
This is my
musician.
this is my favorite one. Yes.
Inspired casting here. Vega.
Vega. Now, a few crucial things. Are they going to make Orville Peck a Canadian country western star do a Spanish accent? Are they going to make him do that? Also, what
God, I hope
happened
so.
there? Did someone just see a music video? Goes, he's wearing a mask
That's
already.
he's like Vega.
Let's get Vega.
He's a lot like Vega to
That's
me.
Vega. That's Vega.
The Hollywood Reporter has this man listed as Joe Anoa'i,
Who is
aka WWE superstar Roman
Roman
Reigns.
Reigns? Rain?
Nope.
Oh my
Reigns
God!
singular is
Oh
what
my
they
God!
have
Roman
here
Reigns.
on
Good
THR.
job.
He's a warrior. And then wait, huh?
No,
No,
he's not.
he's a Kuma.
He's a
And
Kuma. Yeah,
wait, what? Yes. Why they
he
wrote
is.
this paragraph so
They wrote
crazy,
that.
John?
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
They wrote this paragraph so crazy. And then someone named Kalina Liang from something called Presence is Chun Li.
Yep.
So that'll be fun.
It's very like 50 Cent. Oh, you know what? Okay, wait. Whoa, hold on. Who plays Bison and Sagat if we're getting Orville Peck and 50 Cent? So what other musicians are we getting
Damn,
to
that's a
fill
good question.
Sagat, and like who's a tall musician? I'm trying to think of like
Let's
tallest
type it in the computer. Tall musician.
musicians. Pete Steele of Type O Negative is 6'8".
Mick Fleetwood.
Mick
Is he free?
Mick Fleetwood. Mick Fleetwood. I mean, it's maybe a little old. Chris Novoselic, who is the bassist for Nirvana, he
Taylor
could
Swift.
be Taylor Swift, pretty
She's
tall.
5'11".
Pretty tall. That's true. Win Butler from Arcade Fire. He's
I got it.
6'5". Who is it?
Adam Levine. Okay, fine. You don't
This
want Adam
tiger
Levine?
uppercut is tiger, 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 tiger,
Okay, what
tiger.
about Morrissey?
I don't think we can put Morrissey in a.
Fine. Harry Styles,
How tall is Harry Styles?
6 foot, according to
Well, that's not that
what
tall.
website am I on? TheShot.com. Justin. Oh, we could get Johnny Cash. He's 6'2". Brian Wilson. He's also 6'2".
Oh, I knew
Shawn
I
Mendes.
Knew, Shawn Mendes. I knew when that could be it. I knew when I was talking about Pete Steele from Typo Negative, I was like, wait, hold on a second. That guy died a long time ago, and he did. He died 15 years ago, so he can't be
Wiz
him.
Khalifa is 6'4".
Wiz Khalifa.
Okay, so who knows?
Who's
Who's gonna be? Man, they wouldn't do it, but Samoa Joe would be such a good M Bison.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that's not the shape that M Bison
That's not
is,
the
so
shape.
they wouldn't do it.
But I think it'd be great if it was the shape of a bison.
Well,
So yeah, that's
It'll be
the
Chris Pratt.
Street Fighter casting. It'll be Chris Pratt. Oh God, kill me.
it just will be.
It just will be. I think you're right. Hey, let's answer some Hive questions. If you go to vgbs.com/join, you can join the Hive. Ask us questions. We answer them every single week on the podcast. Soy Socks asks, you've been chosen as the ambassador for cultural exchange with a peaceful alien race. What human art, games, or otherwise would you show them?
How smart are they?
I have a real answer and I have a funny answer. And actually, the more I think about it, I think they're probably the same. And it's just the first 3 seasons of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I think.
But they'd walk away with such like a vile
Whatever. They'd be entertained. They'd be like,
Would they? I feel
Yeah.
like you need so much context.
you need
on
a
that
lot of
one.
context. I guess that's true.
I think
guess
the
that's
reality thing they giving them like Top Chef or like Master Chef, like a cooking
Or like
reality
Iron
show.
Chef.
Iron Chef, that's fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because then you're like, this is what we do to our food. We love food so much, we fight about it.
Yeah, we fight about it. It's almost this kind of worshipful
We
dance.
create arena for conflict about it. We fight over it. That's fun.
That's fun. Yeah, that's fun. Ooh, I've got the hiccups real bad.
Probably I would show them John's gonna fucking die. There he goes, Hiccup Town. Now it's my podcast. What else would I show him? I feel like I'd have so many more questions about their things. I don't want to like.
I have breaking news.
What?
Super Mario Strikers on GameCube is coming to the expansion pack next week.
So I don't really know
Thursday.
what I would show them. I'm just like trying to think.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's hard. I think like there are probably movies I would show them.
My
But
thing
again,
about you need it has to
you
be
need context.
something
You need a lot of
that
context.
does not rely on any context. Like you have to imagine that you're going to show it to a person who has just been born, but they were born at the age of 35.
What about Pac-Man? I'd probably show him Pac-Man. It's simple. Guy eat pellets, ghosts try to kill him. That's a pretty easy thing to read.
But would you give him that Pac-Man? Would you give him Pac-Man 1 or would you give him
I'd
like
give him Miss Pac-Man. Or like
over
or
like
like championship
256
edition.
or championship?
Yeah. I don't know. Does it really matter? Are you really getting
Or like kind of.
Okay.
I think it matters.
Okay.
Because then I think if you show him,
championship edition is really good.
Yeah, I just think if you show them Pac-Man 1, then they're gonna think we're fucking stupid. Because it's like this is all you have. This is what you have. It's just square and circle, and it's like no, for sure we do only have square and circle, but like look how pretty the square and circle is. Like we have Tetris Effect, pretty good. Don't need to know anything about anything for that.
That's pretty good. That's a good one. Tetris.
Put the VR headset on their heads. They have
Sure.
eyes, probably.
Probably.
You want to play Tetris Effect?
Putting shapes in a place. I think that's probably pretty
That's
universal.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
straight line make it
Tetris
go
Effect.
away. Tetris Effect, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's a
Should
good one.
we show them any art?
I think we should show them the Bosch stuff. Where like there's like a trumpet player in hell and like a
Yeah,
demon with
yeah,
like
yeah.
music on
That's
his
good.
ass and stuff. I think that's pretty good.
I like the idea of showing them the Sistine Chapel and being like, a guy did this.
A guy,
And
a
a
guy.
guy did this. And
Mm-hmm.
also the roof was as high as it is right now when he
Mm-hmm.
did it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
that's
It's
goofy.
it's incredible that he didn't just fall off that scaffolding and
And
die.
die. Yeah.
Like unbelievable that didn't happen. Like just thinking about that, it's fucking impossible. I mean,
Would they have? I'm just like, I love the idea because, oh man, is it what stage of the painting of the Sistine Chapel is it the funniest if he fell off of the scaffolding? In
uh,
is it 50%?
yeah, 50% is pretty funny. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Did
yeah.
he? Do we know if he worked on it linearly?
I don't know.
Probably not, right? He probably like jumped around. Like if you were to look at the time lapse of the painting of the Sistine Chapel, I'm sure he bipped and bopped around a little bit. I don't think he painted it in one from one end to the other. What's the computer say?
Frescoes. Huh.
Oh, I would show him a can of Fresca.
Show a can of Fresca. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Nah, I would hit him with a Mexican Coke. That would probably be cool. They might die,
They might die. Yeah,
but
too
like,
much. Yeah.
but I hit him with a Mexican Coke. That might be nice.
So there are some frescoes that were not made by Michelangelo,
Mm-hmm.
but Michelangelo started in 1508 to do the vaults slash ceiling, and that work was completed over 4 years, 1508 to 1512, and then he did the Last Judgment over the altar many years later, 1535 to 1541.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I would show them this Sistine Chapel, and
and
then they'd
they
be like,
they built for him a scaffold. Donato Bramante, who was
mm-hmm.
an architect, uh, wanted to build him a scaffold to be suspended with ropes, but Bramante did not successfully complete the task, and the structure he built was flawed. He had perforated the vault in order to lower strings to secure the scaffold. Michelangelo laughed when he saw the structure and believed it would leave holes in the ceiling, which the work had ended. He asked Bramante what was to happen to when the painter reached the perforations, but the architect had no answer. Like, can I just say, I unironically adore the fact that product management problems have persisted for this long. I'm just like Michelangelo's like, I needed to get to the ceiling, and it's like, I got you, bro, I got you. What you gonna do up there? Paint? I don't know how painting works. Sure, let's just drill holes in the ceiling, and like no one will notice, right? But the Bramante, how will I paint around the holes? I don't know, dog. You just asked me for something to suspend you from the air from. What do you want me to do? Everything? Stupid. So Michelangelo created he looped Bramante in. Bramante fucked it up. He went to the Pope and was like, "Hey, Pope, I
This
need
guy's
a scaffold."
fucking
And
stupid.
the Pope literally goes, "Build it yourself, Michelangelo." And he did. That's fucking awesome. God, I wish I knew more about this shit. I need to read about it. Hey, folks, give me your recommendations for books about Michelangelo painting the Sistine Chapel, because it sounds fucking funny, to be
Yeah, that
honest.
owns. That rules.
Um, God, there's probably a really killer movie in there somewhere made by the people that did Veep or The Death
God,
of
yeah, that would
Stalin.
rule. That would
To
bang.
just like, the fucking, yeah, that'd be crazy. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'd show him the Sistine Chapel. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. I don't know. I've never seen it, but seems nice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. I think they'd walk away
I think they'd walk away pretty
pretty amped.
satisfaccio. Listen, Bone Chug Actual asks, what's the best game series that you think you would actually enjoy, but you've never played?
Hmm. Hmm.
I think I would. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
I'm looking at, I'm going to type in video game series.
I I think I would probably I think I would probably like Disgaea because you
Mm.
get into like some real sicko numbers stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I've never played them because uh they seem impenetrable to me for some reason.
I think I would like
Um
Castlevania.
okay, that's a pretty good one. Mhm.
I haven't played one of those ever.
Mhm. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Castlevania is pretty good. Symphony of the Night is really good. I think if you are wanting something that feels like it's got like a sense of progression in it.
God bless you.
Wow, couldn't mute myself fast enough on
No,
that one.
that's
Sorry,
okay.
folks.
Can't win them
Um,
all.
I think if you want one with a sense of exploration and progression, you can skip every one before Symphony of the Night. I
Mm.
think, but there's some good older ones too. Good question. Thanks, Bone Chuck. Don't Focus asks, eggs gotta change. What are you changing about eggs?
Color. That's easy.
So okay, so the natural like the insides of the eggs,
Both.
both inside and outside.
Yeah, and it's just
What
random.
random? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and like they are. I to be so clear, I know that they come different.
Right.
I know that there's different color egg, and the inside can be vaguely on a spectrum of yellow to like orange. But I'm saying egg come out purple,
Mm-hmm.
yolk orange,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
egg come out pink, yolk
Mm-hmm. Green.
same color as the white, clear.
Mm. Clear.
Confusing, ain't it?
It's not. Yeah.
It's not.
It's not. It's not
So that's
color.
my idea. Different color.
I think I would put a little pin on eggs that like when you pull it, you're boiling it, and so you can just like
Oh, like an
you can
internal
crack them
boil.
open and make them
Yeah.
however you want.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
really, I just want to like pull a pin and like turn some of them into boiled eggs like
That's
immediately.
good. Yeah.
So I think
That's
that'd be
great.
good. I like the color one though too. During a recent, this is from Destructonaut. Thanks, Randy. During a recent If You're Driving episode, John mentioned Bayou Billy. I had a Bayou Billy Tiger electronic handheld when I was a kid. Did you have any Tiger electronic memories? I realized Nikki wasn't born when these were going to be when these were a going concern. Do you know what this is?
So I think Tiger Electronics made the Pokedex that I had when I was a child.
Oh, interesting.
And I think they also I had uh like a PDA or
Mm-hmm.
something that was the equivalent
Mm-hmm.
of it for the card game Duel Masters, which was a
Okay.
Yu-Gi-Oh competitor. I think they also might have made that.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure that out if that's true. But I did not play any of the real Tiger Electronics
Yeah.
games.
I had a Street Fighter one. I think I had a Mega Man one. I think I had a Double Dragon one. So I had a few Tiger Electronics games. It was so weird. Like being a kid ruled because I feel like you could still actively be playing or doing something that you know you don't really like that much, but you're still like, I'm a kid. I've got no responsibilities. This is
Yeah,
fun
who
enough.
cares?
Who cares?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I felt about Tiger Electronics. Good
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, I
Black.
did.
Oh,
The Duel Masters Dex was Tiger Electronics. So I
amazing.
had that and then the red classic
Amazing.
Pokedex.
Amazing. Blackjack Attack asks, "You're being added as a summoned support in a fighting game. What do you do to help or hinder the player?"
Oh, that's a great question. Oh, I can
That's a
hinder
good
them?
question. Yeah, you can hinder the opponent, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're right. So Sub-Zero asks you to come in. What do
Yeah.
you do?
I'm probably just asking whoever Sub-Zero is fighting like something completely asinine.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think gasoline tastes like?
Yeah.
Like in the middle,
Yeah.
just in the middle of the conflict. And that's probably going to stun them enough that Sub-Zero is going to be able to cut their dick off or whatever he does.
I've got a pretty similar answer, which is I just start giving them anxiety, where
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, yeah, that looks like that shiner's rough. I would have that looked at pretty soon.
Yeah.
Because like you don't want it to swell so bad that you can go blind. Hey, have you had that mark on your back checked? Like stuff like that. Oh, just
Yeah.
like you got your shirt off, you're fighting, you're glistening in the sun. I was like, I
Oh,
don't know. That
wow.
looks a little misshapen. Maybe
Has
have
it
a
always
derm
been
just
there?
look at it. Has it always
Has
been
it
there?
always been there?
Has it
Is it?
changed?
Can I feel it really?
Is it
I
raised?
I just want
Is
to
it
feel it really
raised?
fast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Because I think
Stuff
is
like
that
that.
because there's one here, and then there's also one. I think is this one also? Did you shower this morning? Have you switched? No, that's a good. I think that's a good route. That's a good
Yeah.
route to take.
Yeah. Hey, I think you missed some spots on your back with your sunscreen. Did you not have someone help you with this? You know, even just a few hours of exposure can really open you up to some stuff. Just get
should
to
go get a
be like,
biopsy
shut
right
the
now,
fuck
just
up,
to-
and then they just like they get their shit kicked in. You just need to get them to pay attention to you once,
What?
and then it's
that's
over.
it. That's all it takes.
So that's a good question. All right, Cam asks, "Fuck, marry, kill the ROG Xbox Ally X, the PSP Go, or the Nintendo 2DS XL."
Kill the Xbox One. Marry the 2DS. Fuck the PSP Go.
That's exactly my answer. Great
I
answer.
think that's the move. Now listen, in this, could you in theory play more video games on the Xbox thing?
Sure.
Yes.
But then you're buying into the whole bullshit, man.
Yeah, that's how they get you.
That's how they get you. Jason asks, "Would you call something like Wordle a video game?" Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But again,
I wouldn't be upset if you didn't. But
yeah, no, I mean, like, is the crossword a video game because you can do it on your phone?
digitally,
Like,
yeah.
no,
no.
like yes and no. Like,
Yes and no.
it's a word game. Like,
I
our
think
word
it's-
searches video games.
The real answer is completely contextual. Like if someone that made a digital version of Wordle showed up at a video game thing, I would not go, "Get the fuck out of here. You don't
Yeah.
belong here." I wouldn't do that. But it would be I think the crossword example is good of like, no, I'm a game designer and some of it's digital. I'm not making like
Yeah.
a video game.
Yeah. Wordle, I think Wordle is a video game because you can't do it not on the computer.
Yeah. that
Like,
makes sense.
Wordle is not possible unless you are doing it digitally, which makes it a video game. But also, you get Puzzmo for free at the library.
Papa Bear Zach asking, maybe my favorite question of the week: how do I get my beautiful, lovely wife to stop playing Monopoly Go?
Oh, man, that's really tough. Does she know about other video games or not?
What did she like about? I wish we had more context here. I should have
Yeah.
asked. But so what did she like? You can you can tell us the answers to these questions, and then we can answer them next time. But like, what does she like about it? What is she? When does she play it? Is she ashamed of her play habits,
Does
or
she
is she
want
just
to
like
play
does she
something else?
want to? Yeah, like these are all good questions because I don't want to yuck her yum if she's like, I just really like Monopoly Go. This is my speed. It's great.
Yeah. Is she
But if you feel like she's
spending
like-
money on it?
Yeah, I think that was my next question.
Those are the real questions. Because if the answer is no, yeah, who cares? It's probably fine.
Yeah.
But if she's spending money on it, get her a 2DS.
Get her a 2DS. Yeah, I think that makes sense. What kind of Jason also asking, what kind of car would Solid Snake drive?
Car. I don't know. I don't know what. I think he would have a lot of ideas about how many computers are in cars now.
Okay.
So like
Okay.
I
okay.
think he drives like a 90s like Ford F-150.
Okay.
and it is kind of falling apart. And like
Mm-hmm.
so many people all the time are like, did you know cars have air conditioning now? Because he does get out of the car and Ocelot is like, dude, you're sweating so fucking much. He's like,
Yeah.
what are you? And because Snake's been driving around Afghanistan with the windows up, no vent, no
No
AC.
vent. Yeah.
And he's lost 10 pounds in the 3 hours he's been in the car. And also, they make cars with AC, and I don't want it. I don't want it. That's my Snake. I don't want it. Is that good? Was that good?
The banquet beer. Yeah, your Snake and your ESPN guy are pretty much the same person.
Ocelot. Ocelot, this shit's crazy. The guy, listen, he told me to unplug my controller and plug it into the second port. I don't even know what that means.
You saw my memory cards. I have a lot of porn on my memory cards.
He said I was playing too much Ape Escape.
Yeah. No, I could see an old F-150 with no air conditioning. I can totally see that. What about Ben Bridges or whatever the fuck this Death Stranding man his name is?
He doesn't
Leon
like cars.
Leon Bridges. Leon Bridges. What kind of cars Leon Bridges drive?
Leon Bridges drives like a Cadillac SUV.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Come on the show, Leon.
But like not even.
You live like 20 minutes from my house. Come on the show.
Really? Come on
Leon
the
Bridges, he's from
program,
Fort
Leon
Worth.
Bridges.
Yeah.
There's a new Cadillac. Welcome to Car Talk with John and Nikki. There's a new Cadillac that costs, I think the base is $250,000, but it's called the Celestique. And it's like a Cadillac of yore, John, where they were just fucking boats, and it just kind of goes on for forever. Which I normally would hate. To be so clear, I don't think cars should be any bigger than a Mini Cooper ever. But in this specific scenario,
It's kind of fun.
kind of bangs. Like it does kind of bang. Like the idea that they were like, listen, they literally don't make them like they used to. What if the car was 13 feet long?
What's it called again?
Celestique it's Celeste IQ.
Got it. Yep. God damn, what a fucking beefy boy. Yeah, no, so if you have played Cyberpunk 2077, this looks like a Delamain
It does. Yeah.
taxi cab. Like exactly. Just so it is just huge. It's humongous.
And 2 feet.
Oh, I would get
It's
one of these cars.
It is 18 feet long, this car.
I would get one of these in a fucking heartbeat.
No, they look sick as hell.
They look sick. They look so
sick as hell. It does cost
a lot of money.
340,000 American.
Whoa.
The car and driver gave it a 9.5 out of 10.
Whoa, that's expensive. Holy shit.
Yeah. And you can't just like go buy one. Obviously,
you have to design it.
$340,000. Yeah, but you
have to design
get a
concierge. Yeah, you get
a guy comes to your house, and you pick what color stitching you want in the seats.
Oh.
John, we just need to raise.
We just need to raise. Folks,
Let's just call it a cool
BGBs.com/join.
Because we're gonna go on options.
We're gonna want options.
I love the idea that this isn't how it works, but I love the idea that at $340,000 you don't get power windows.
That's unbelievable.
I love the idea that you would get in the car and they're like, it's got crank windows unless you give us some more cash.
Yeah. God, that's crazy. There are a lot of touchscreens in this. I don't like.
Yeah, it's got a 55-inch screen along the. It's just that's just one screen.
Yeah.
It's 55 inches across.
God, that's crazy. This is a cool car, I have to say.
It's a cool car.
I have to say this is pretty cool.
Cheaper than a Rolls-Royce Phantom. So you're actually losing money by not buying one.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really good point.
Doesn't your car seem cheap now, John?
It does.
If you think about it this way,
if I think about it this way,
you could buy a handful of your car or one of these.
I could have a small fleet of Toyota Siennas or one of these. Yeah.
One of these.
Yeah. No, it's amazing.
It can only go 300 miles. It's 18 feet long.
See,
on
that
a
would drive
charge.
me fucking crazy.
Now, that's
That would drive me
crazy,
fucking
right?
crazy. That's my thing with that's my beef with EV.
Well,
Like,
you can
we gotta
charge.
get
You
to
can
the
get.
point.
You can get 80 miles in 10 minutes.
Okay.
So that's I think that's where the fuck are you going? You know
Yeah, where are you
you're
going?
Yeah, where are you going?
Yeah.
So, anyway,
Every
listen, Cadillac.
80...
We're pivoting to auto reviews.
Oh yeah, send us one.
Just send us
Send
one.
us two. Send us two.
Just send us two.
We
We'll just drive
we
around
live
for a week.
We'll drive around for a week. I
Just send it back.
I have a sterling driving record. Don't listen to any of the other episodes
Do
of the
not
show.
ask State Farm.
don't
what
ask
has
State Farm.
happened recently.
Don't look up police reports with my name on
God,
it. It's
John,
fine.
Okay, listen. Your car accident was horrible.
Yes.
At least it was your car. Can you imagine if you were reviewing a car and Toyota sent it to you, and then that happened to you? It can always be worse.
It could always be worse.
You could be an auto reviewer who totaled Subaru's car. You know?
Oh god, that'd be so fucking funny.
Do you get another one? Is it like the Bethesda Kotaku thing where they just pretended that you weren't alive for a long time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do they pick a different person at the publication? Can you imagine? I'm the lead reviewer on Fords at Car and Driver, and Ford won't send me Fords anymore because I flipped a Bronco in the parking lot at the mall.
We'll send one to your boss, but we better not catch word of your boss letting you drive this around. This is now someone else's job. That'd be so incredible.
Tough.
Yeah. I wonder how that works from an insurance perspective. And God, that must be a nightmare.
The cars, I mean, it's probably it's double insurance, no? You have insurance as Car and Drive, triple insurance. You have your own car insurance that is your.
They have
yourself.
it, and
the business
your
has it,
employer
and
has
they
it.
wreck the
They're probably
Bronco.
fine.
Who cares?
Flip it.
Who gives a shit?
That should be part of the test. Get into a bad wreck with it. See what happens. We're big safety people here. That's how I'd spin it. Listen,
all the
big
airbags
safety people
work?
here. Do all the airbags work? We're gonna find out in a second.
We're gonna find out. We have. Sorry. We
gonna
have
slam
people. We
into
have
this tree.
people. We have people for it. You're already driving into the tree.
Nah,
Okay.
you're good.
All right. All right.
No, we got another test for you. It's good. we'll do a human experiment. Enough of these dummies.
No, listen. They can't. They don't feel pain.
They don't feel pain. It's true. Folks, let's get out of here. This is a fun one. Ask us questions every single week. A couple left over here. May hit you with the bonus to answer some of those. VGBs.com/join. Next week, we're going to have one Garrett Martin on the show from Paste Magazine. So please stay tuned for that. We're going to start having a string of guests once again this summer. And then Nikki and I will be together in Arlington, Texas for All In. I should have my car by then also, which is very exciting. And we're going to be eating barbecue and watching wrestling and hanging out, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, stay tuned next week. Nikki, makeyouthink.club. That's their newsletter. Please go subscribe to that. It's very, very, very good. Anything else you want to plug? So forlorn. A lot to consider.
No, we can't. Hold on.
Okay, there's a lot. There's something I've got to vamp. I'm gonna vamp until we know. My Hero Zero asks, "What's the most 7 out of 10 game?" Is the most 7 out of 10 game? We'll do a cleanup, and I will say, off the top of my head, I think the answer to that is actually Final Fantasy 13. I think that game is very 7 out of 10. It's fine. Oh, what's up?
John,
What's up? What happened?
This.
Uh-oh.
How
What
do I
happened?
send this to you?
I don't know.
I put it in the studio in private.
Okay, you put it in
private chat
okay.
in here.
Okay. Yeah. You can't send this to me right before. You can't. Oh my God. No, no,
So
no.
this, I need to be
Wow.
so clear. This is not a real product that they're doing.
Oh, it's a
this
joke?
is what the kids call viral marketing. It has to
Okay.
be. There's a handful of creators who are on TikTok who have posted videos in the style of this one, which is a man making a sandwich, except he goes into the refrigerator and pulls out a package of Duke's mayonnaise slices.
I'm gonna fucking yarts. I'm gonna yarts. Nikki, to your point, it is crucially and very clearly a viral marketing campaign.
Yes. To be so clear.
It
To be
is.
so
It
clear.
is like very, very clearly that's what it is
I
because
don't want any. Yeah, I just don't want any of us to have like a fucking conniption when you see that. Well, it's going to be so many days after when have seen this. Don't get got.
don't
Do
get got.
not
It's
get
not
got.
real.
It's not real.
Stay
However,
woke.
and
Stay,
then what does he say? Then what does he say, John?
stay
Hey,
woke.
bro, why are you so awkward?
Says stay woke. Mayonnaise slices.
That's
What
it.
he
That's
says.
exactly what he
That's
says.
exactly what he says. And nothing else.
Well, bye.
Enjoy those mayonnaise slices, everyone. We'll see you next week. Until next time, keep on buzzing.